What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is big. Some of the reports out this afternoon have brought back a very interesting topic, and I want to share those with you. Also, many of you have been asking about some of the topics that were discussed months ago, and those are starting to come back. We're starting to see those again. This includes things like hazard pay. We're starting to hear discussions. We're starting to hear murmurs again within Congress. Now, I'm not going to say hazard pay is coming back and we're going to see it. Yes, hooray for hazard pay. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is people are talking about it again. This also includes SSI and an SSDI boost benefit. We could be seeing this very soon. This is something that Joe Biden said was one of his campaign promises. This was even on his website, that he wants to provide $200 boosts to people on Social Security. This also could include larger unemployment benefits. It could include more stimulus checks and so much more. So this is good. Remember, back in October when Nancy Pelosi and Democrats kept talking about and kept pushing the HEROES Act, well, according to multiple reports, many Republicans are worried that if Democrats win the 2 seats in Georgia, we are going to see the HEROES Act make its way back again. Now, to some people, this is bad. This is really bad news. But to others, and to many millions and millions of Americans, the HEROES Act would provide them with a large boost, a large stimulus. Again, this includes hazard pay. This includes more money for state, or actually money for state and local governments. This includes more money to schools. There's money for elections. There's more money for vaccines, testing and tracing. There's so much money in this bill. Again, it was for $3.4 trillion. But just remember, if this happens, then we could see much more stimulus than just those $2,000 stimulus checks. Everybody's talking about the $2,000 stimulus checks at this point. But why? It's because President Trump has said that's what he wants. We have heard from Nancy Pelosi and the House. They voted on a $2,000 stimulus check amendment. It passed. Well, it's sitting at the Senate. It's going to die. As far as the Senate, Mitch McConnell, he proposed, he did not vote on, he neglected, he blocked a vote to vote on his own bill. This was $2,000 stimulus checks for filers and their spouse, $600 for child dependents, $0 for adult dependents, and it includes Section 230 repeal and a committee to look into election fraud. Well, he didn't even want to vote on this. Now, according to one staffer, multiple Republicans are worried that not only will $2,000 stimulus checks be part of this next bill if Democrats win, and again, all of these talks are about if Democrats win. But the reason, there's a reason why, there's a good reason why many Republicans are currently worried about the Georgia Senate runoff. Even people not in Georgia, they are worried about what's going to happen in the next 4 days. Now, what we know, in the next bill, not only will we probably see at least a $1,200 stimulus check, possibly a $1,400 stimulus check, we could see, and this one staffer is saying we could see an additional $2,000. So it would be the $1,200 we received from the CARES Act. It would be the $600 that we are currently receiving right now, and it could be $2,000 in the next bill. This would also most likely include a handsome sum of money for state and local government funding. This would include $600 per week in unemployment benefits, and most likely this would go on probably until the mid-summer, maybe a little bit longer. We could also see SSI and SSDI monthly increase. This was one of Joe Biden's campaign promises. Again, you can see it on his website, where he wanted to offer $200 per month in addition to people's Social Security income. This is big. We could also see hazard pay come back, but again, I just want to reiterate, hazard pay is one of those things that's a bonus on top of a bonus. It's something that they say it's necessary, but at this point, it's not technically hazard pay. It would be more of a retroactive hazard pay, which I don't know how many Democrats would think this is a priority over other things. So just understand, hazard pay is currently, there's murmurs. There's rumors going around, but I don't want to say it's going to happen for sure. Now, what we know right now is that President Trump wants $2,000 stimulus checks. He's been very clear. He's been extremely vocal, which is great. But some wonder what happens if President Trump is not in office and this doesn't pass. What happens if everyone's still fighting for $2,000 stimulus checks, but then Joe Biden is in office? What do we expect then? Some say the Cash Act might be the least of Republicans' worries. The Cash Act would be the cheapest form of stimulus that we could see. Next, they will need to figure out a way to negotiate a package that starts much higher, similar to the way that the HEROES Act did. We could see Republicans negotiate down from a $3.4 trillion stimulus package. We could see this because if Democrats win, which many people are expecting they will, now I'm not saying they are, I'm saying that's what people are expecting. Republicans are very worried right now what is to happen in the next 4 days. Now, keep in mind, this only happens if Democrats win in Georgia. But according to multiple reports and according to Georgia Votes, over 3 million people have already cast their ballot. They have already seen over 100,000 people, or right about 100,000 people, cast their ballot this time that did not cast their ballot in the last election. So more people are coming out of the woodwork and voting. Why is this? Some are saying it is because Democrats are pulling new people in. I'm not saying this is fraud. I'm not saying they're pulling in people that are illegal. But what I am saying is Democrats are finding people that didn't vote the last time, that thought their voice didn't need to be heard or didn't count. They are starting to pull those people in. And in some cases, Republicans are worried that President Trump is actually hurting them in their quest for winning the state. Not to mention, currently, Republicans are viewed as the ones holding back and not allowing the American people to see $2,000 stimulus checks. If that's the case, this could ultimately hurt Republicans and hurt their chances of taking back the Senate or remaining in control of the Senate. Now, I like to place bets. I place bets all the time. And one thing I just want to say is I place bets on things that I know. Currently, I would not vote against Democrats at this point because of the way things have kind of worked out over the past few weeks. Americans are very keen to, and they see, they're smart. We're not stupid. We see what's happening. And a lot of people have been saying, I'm not going to vote for Republican. No. I don't want to keep Mitch McConnell as the majority leader. No, I don't want that. And so what's currently being talked about is Republicans are not going to vote for a Republican simply because they do not want to see what has been happening lately, these political games. Now, one thing I just want to reiterate. The Georgians are not just voting on $2,000 stimulus checks. That's not all they're voting on. They are voting on things like tax hikes. They're voting on things like Medicare for all and so much more. So when it comes down to Georgia, no matter how people vote in Georgia, just understand $2,000 stimulus checks is great and it would help out a lot of people. But ultimately, there's more on the ballot than just $2,000 stimulus checks. And at this point, $2,000 stimulus checks are not a guarantee. Other things that are on the ballot that can change things a little bit quicker for people in Georgia and have a greater impact over their lives, this is what's on the ballot as well. But just know that no matter where you live in the United States, what happens over the next 4 days and in the next 4 days on January 5th, 2021, this will impact every single one of us for the next 2 years. Over the past few days, I have received thousands of comments actually, and here on this channel, a lot of them say the same thing. It's something to the effect of, why can't President Trump do more? He is the most powerful man in the world. That's what they're saying. Well, I want to answer that question because President Trump actually doesn't have as much power as many people think he does. Right now, I would say Mitch McConnell has even more power. Mitch McConnell is an extremely powerful man, and with the way Senate rules are written today, Mitch McConnell can do what he wants when he wants, and what he can do and get done is, in my opinion, more than what President Trump can do. Not much can be done without Mitch McConnell's say-so. President Trump can try to do different things, but Congress could come back and say, no, you can't do that, or you need our approval, or we're not going to sign off on that, or you're not getting the money for that. Congress is the only one that can spend money. President Trump can reallocate certain monies, but he cannot spend money. That's the issue. Congress right now needs to spend money. Jerome Powell from the Federal Reserve says, spend, spend, spend. President Trump wants to spend, spend, spend. Mitch McConnell, not so much. And what makes Trump's powers so limited at this point is this. Mitch McConnell and Republicans have already thrown in the towel to the Trump administration. They are just buying time until the Biden administration takes over in 19 days. It is because of this that many Republicans are going back to President Trump, or not going back to President Trump, and are just making it look like they are united at this point. Wait until January 6th or January 7th, whenever we know who wins the Georgia Senate runoff. If it's a Republican, if it's Democrats, if it's 2 Republicans or 2 Democrats, doesn't matter. Wait until after this election and just see how many people are bashing President Trump. How many people are fighting against him now? Because it won't matter. It will not matter at that point. They are pretty much saying, President Trump, you are not going to be our president for the next 4 years. Joe Biden has already won. On January 6th, we will most likely see, it could be contested, we don't know, but we will most likely see the Electoral College votes certified. That's what we will most likely see. But we will just have to wait until we get there. With that said, almost all signs point to Joe Biden becoming president in just 19 days. That's pretty much the facts. There is some things that could be contested. There's President Trump is trying, judges keep throwing it out. They don't want to listen to what he has to say. And that makes it very difficult. And I think the Republicans, the Senate Republicans know this, that we're not going to win this. We just need to give up, give in, and take our loss. Now, when Joe Biden becomes president, he has said he will do many things. He stated that he will work to get people on Social Security a $200 boost per month for all of 2021. This is huge. This is huge and can help out millions of people. This is going to help out a lot of people if he does it. But we just have to wait and see as things move forward, as we progress. Will he hold this campaign promise? I don't know. He also said he supported the $3.4 trillion HEROES Act. This would include hazard pay to many essential workers. And right now, what I can tell you is he could push for the $3.4 trillion HEROES Act, the main one that they passed back in May. However, most likely, the report right now is saying that he will push for the $2.4 trillion HEROES Act that Nancy Pelosi proposed back in, October? This could work. This would get us to right about that $3.4 trillion mark. But what I can tell you right now is we just don't know. Joe Biden has a lot of things going on right now. He's working on a lot of things because his first 100 days are going to tell us how he's going to be as a president. Joe Biden has said he would like to eliminate some student debt. However, he's also said that getting rid of $50,000 per student just wouldn't work. That's not really feasible. So he could still get rid of up to $10,000. Some people believe he will do something, but again, we will have to wait and see. What we know right now is that the Biden administration takes office very soon, and things will change. As to how much, we don't know. Lower income families could see their taxes drop, while higher income earners could see an increase in taxes. This is a big one. We could also see a federal mask mandate. We will most likely see more vaccines being distributed. Joe Biden has vowed to get 100 million vaccines distributed in his first 100 days. Things will be different, and because of all that Joe Biden wants to do, it will require more funding from Congress. As to how much Congress is willing to give, again, that is unknown. What I can tell you right now is that Mitch McConnell and Republicans understand what Joe Biden is trying to do. They understand where his goals are, what the accomplishments that he wants to achieve are. And some experts are saying that this is why they're unwilling to negotiate a large deal. This is why Republicans, specifically Senate Republicans, have been fighting against Democrats and Nancy Pelosi for so long. They understand what could be on the table when Joe Biden takes office. They expect Joe Biden will require a very large stimulus package, and they want to be prepared for such a debt. That's what we're hearing. So, this is what we know right now regarding the $2,000 stimulus checks, as well as the possibilities of what could become a new stimulus package under Joe Biden. So, as I know more, I promise I'm going to share more. consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on, and I'll see you guys on the next one.